Congratulations on this movie. I loved it so much. I cried through the entire third act.
I'm glad you liked it.
It was beautiful. And so, given the fact that I think the actors have been talking about it being a tearjerker, obviously I had that experience, I would love to know what your go-to movie is when you need a good cry.
Actually, I would say Charlie Brown Christmas. Yeah, it's the most perfect, imperfect film I've ever seen, and I think the immense sincerity in it is something that I always react to.
Yes, I love that. And this movie, like so many of your other films, kind of highlights the idea of finding unexpected family or finding family that shouldn't make sense. On paper almost. What draws you to these kinds of stories? This seems to be a theme through multiple of your works, and you knock it out of the park every time, so I'd love to know kind of what kind of sparks your sixth sense in that sense.
I think it's the intricacies of those kind of relationships that feels very real. I love fairy tales, but it's not the kind of thing that I do really well working on. I think this is the kind of thing, for all the reasons you just said, it's those unusual, it's those complex interactions where you get all this emotional scale and depth. And there's an unexpected quality and an unpredictable quality to those things that, again, I think that we relate to. It feels real,
Yeah.
I think, if that makes sense. And so it's one of the things at the core of the story is the idea that there are happenstances that make up life.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things at the core of this story is like there are accidents and unexpected things that shape this journey.
A line that really stuck out to me is the idea that like Roz shouldn't be feeling anything. And there were a couple other lines as well about compassion being a survival skill and things like that. What do you hope audiences take away when they come see this movie about choosing who they want to be kind of in this crazy world we're living in?
I think it's just Peter Brown's theme that he built into it that we were able to put on screen is the idea that kindness can be a survival skill.
Yeah.
It's really inspiring. It's one of the things that drives the story. And I love stories about robots. They immediately break my heart. In Santa Monica, I'll be driving down the street and there are these little robots that deliver things and they just break my heart. They're trying so hard. I can barely talk about it without crying. They're trying so hard and they look like little kids with their little flags and things. And there's something about that kind of a character that is incredibly effective in telling a human story. I don't know exactly what the alchemy is, but it's unusual. And the idea that I get to work on a robot story, I never expected I would get to do that.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the reasons I said yes immediately to this, is Roz's character.
Absolutely. Do you have any other favorite robot movies?
Well, Iron Giant.
Robot stories.
Yeah, I mean, Iron Giant for sure.
Yeah.
I think that, interestingly, I would cite Iron Giant as one of the very few robot stories where a robot has articulation on its face and it really works.
Yeah.
We were very clear that we didn't want that for Roz. All of her emotional, I think, wavelengths are expressed through her body language and through Lupita's incredible performance. It's one of the reasons that Lupita had to do so much work, and I credit her with so much of this character working because she just behind the scenes she worked so hard to get everything into her performance.
Absolutely. Kind of that idea of kindness as a survival skill. Why is that an important message for right now? And why is The Wild Robot the movie that people should see this September?
I think the complexity of our lives it seems to get more and more complex as things go by, and I think that it becomes more important than ever that people just try to be kind and try to listen. At the core of the story is the idea that like characters that wouldn't get along, when they do get along, really wonderful things happen. And these characters it's an island that is unforgiving, and these characters couldn't be more different than Roz. And the way that she changes the culture of the island, I think it's really inspiring.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much and congratulations again. I can't wait for everyone to see this.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes.